We live in an 800 square foot shed that we converted into our full-time home. And so many people ask us, how can I live in a small house or tiny house? Hey y'all, it's Bo and Kelly Brotherton here on the Better Together Homestead. We're gonna show you a different kind of tour. We have been living here in our shed to house for over 3 years, and we're gonna be showing you how we have been able to make this small space work. Because what I like to say to people is the shed to house was never the destination for us. It was always the vehicle that got us to the destination, the end game of homesteading, of having a milk cow, having chickens and pigs. That was it. We wanted to be able to live small so that we can have the big land life. Cheesy.
So cheesy, but let's be really clear. In our family, our large number of people in a small space starts with outdoor living space. These porches are the size of our entire house. Our kids, sidewalk chalk on the porches. We eat meals out here. We do school outside, and all because sometimes you just want a change of scenery from inside. When you first come into our house, the first thing you're gonna see is our kitchen. And that might be unconventional compared to other homes, but here's why it works for us. We built our kitchen kind of modularly, like one step at a time. It started with the IKEA cabinets, but we built it to be simple. Some people might make it feel like a galley kitchen, but because you come straight into the house, it's really wide open. No one feels claustrophobic. This is not only like a two-butt kitchen, which we all lovingly refer to, but we made it so specifically that even when we open our washer, we can still walk around it. That might be small potatoes to you, but that's how detailed we were in thinking out the layout of our kitchen. It was probably 6 months or so after we put this kitchen in. We knew we were gonna need more storage, but we didn't really want full cabinets. We have a very, very heavy, hardy working kitchen. Often there are eggs on the counter. Right now, there is like sourdough pie crust on the counter. We've got freeze-dried snacks that are easy to access, but we need to be able to reach all of this quickly. And quite frankly, I didn't want the closed off look that we would get from other cabinets. They might get a little dusty or dirtier than what you would prefer, but in our working farmhouse kitchen, this is ideal.
So something that Kelly did not just want was closed-in cabinets. This was something that she wanted me to build, this little pegboard. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, pegboard. I actually got the idea from Jess at Roots and Refuge. She had a huge wall for her cast iron. I was like, that's exactly what we need, but like mini. And all of our appliances are full-size appliances because we're a full-size family. With 6 people and 1 on the way, you can't really do a mini fridge or a mini dishwasher. On the topic of storage, I would say even the pièce de résistance in our kitchen is this island. It is very piecemealed. It's kind of something that grew out of necessity. In our earlier videos, you're gonna see that right here, all we had was a table, like old school IKEA desk from when Bo was in high school, maybe college. And that was great for a temporary fix, but like everything else in our house, we always had a vision for the next step, and this island was really our next step. So let me show you some of the features and you decide if that's a good fit for you. The base of this whole thing was just a single cabinet from Home Depot. You could get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, just a big box base cabinet. And then we took the cabinet and framed out extra space on the ends so we could have this little bit of shelving and also to make it big enough for our whole family to sit around. It's framed with beadboard just because I like that look. You can use whatever look you like. And we retrofit electric into this island. It wasn't originally here. The countertop is like quartz. In fact, we found a great deal on this. We'd actually talked to someone who we knew installed countertops, and he found a solid piece of quartz for us so that we could just slap it on and install it. It was really, really convenient. But all along, we knew the island itself would only fit 4 people. Still a huge upgrade from when we had been having picnics in our living room floor just a couple years ago. So to make it accommodate all 6 of us, eventually 7 of us, we built in this leaf, and it makes me really happy. The leaf itself is nothing pretty to look at. It's not quartz, it's not the final product. It's just a leftover piece of the temporary top that we had on this island for like, I don't know, 9, 10 months. We mirrored the storage underneath this leaf to match the other side, but primarily because we have some appliances that we use every day, like our blender and our mixer, and this way we can just reach right under here and get exactly what we need. On purpose, we don't have a kitchen table in our tiny house, but because we designed it in this way, we save space when we don't want the leaf up, and when it is up, we can fit 4 people down the side of the island and then another 4, totaling 8 people around our kitchen island table. Something that makes our house really unique is, well, you have to look up. These are huge ceilings, and I really was super purposeful. Like, I'm not a designy kind of girl, but I was really purposeful, and several marital arguments ensued when I said, I want the shiplap and I want the beams exposed. Our ceilings feel so high. We have no attic or wasted space. You walk into our home and it feels so much bigger. It's probably one of the most common comments we get from real life friends who walk in and say, wow, I just didn't imagine it to feel that big.
Talking about the ceiling does make me think that a way that you make a small space work is you do closed cell spray foam insulation. Climate control is a big deal.
You can work with your whole space if you do that.
Exactly. If we didn't do closed cell spray foam, we would have to install what's called ridge vents in the ceilings, and you just can't get that full loft ceiling. Cathedral ceiling is what it's called. You can't get that full cathedral.
Who thought you were gonna get a cathedral ceiling in a shed house? The way we make homeschool work in a tiny space is really a stretch, but we homeschool in sort of a Charlotte Mason fashion, which is heavy on literature. So we have loads of books here. If you don't have dead things on a shelf in a box, I don't even know if you homeschool. Like, that's just how it is everywhere I go. So there's some snake skins, loads of rocks. These are special treasures that our kids really value, and I don't want to just kick them out. So we made space for them. I also have a rolling cart with books organizing each of the kids' years. So their curriculum for that year is stored right there in the rolling cart.
I'm going to help Kelly out because she is about to pop a baby out any day now. But this is all her underneath. We call this the little library. And I had no idea how much use this little tiny space was actually going to get used with our kids. So this is where she keeps the little homeschool rolling cart. This can go anywhere. She can just roll this all over the place whenever she's doing school in the kitchen and the living room, and then at night we just tuck it away under here. But you just put a little rug and kids will just make even the smallest creative little places their own. So if you're thinking of living tiny, small space, and you have to know that you're going to be coming up with creative ideas on how to make things work, really think about what is most important for your family. Family movie nights, Friday nights, we make sourdough pizza, and that is one of the special traditions for our family. And while we were designing the space, we couldn't figure out how to make it work. The kitchen was originally supposed to happen here in this space, but then out of nowhere, I just thought, what if we put a projector up against this wall that shot across, and I somehow mounted a projector screen on the bottom of our girls' lofted room right here? Could it work? And this was early in the design process, way before we even had the shed here, and it's worked flawlessly, y'all.
I think there's two parts of this that work especially well. One is we get to decide, like consciously decide without just clicking a remote, hey, we're gonna watch a show right now, or we're gonna watch a movie right now, or something that engages all of us together. It's not isolating, it is absolutely a space where we really gather.
And when the projector goes up, they kind of like, ah.
They do.
But then it goes away, out of sight, out of mind, and then they just run outside and play.
Yeah.
Okay, as we stand in front of Kelly's, this is called her pregnancy spot. I don't know what.
The kids have just been like, are you sitting in your pregnant spot? I'm like, this is not where I got pregnant. This is just where my big pregnant body sits all the time.
So, as that so awkward, as that leads up to the kids' loft. We have two lofts. One's slightly bigger than the other one. The boys are over here and the girls are over on the other side. A question that we get all the time is, can I make this work with kids?
Or how? How can anyone make this work with kids?
My response is, absolutely, you can make it work. How you make it work, it might be easier if they start as they're smaller. Yes, they're going to grow, but at the same time, every time we've had friends come over, like kids' friends, like our kids' friends, they think that the lofts are so cool.
They do not care that they are 5 feet tall. They're just like, no, I love this. They feel like it's a treehouse.
And we personally slept up in the other loft with all of them because when we first moved in here, and it was so cozy. Now, I will say this, how you can make it work. This was not available whenever we were building. We have a Shed 2 House Facebook group. There's like 90,000 people over there. We have a sponsor there, United Portable Buildings. I know the owner, Casey. He is so passionate about helping people find alternative living spaces and converting shed to houses. If we had to do this over again, because we don't live in a United Portable Building home, we have the studio over there, but if we had to do this over again, I would have bought from United Portable Buildings and I would have done a full height second story. It would have given us so much more room to be able to grow into. So that is what I would say. Yes, you can make it work with a loft.
It might be strange for someone who's seeing that the first time. In tiny houses on wheels, you have grown 6 foot tall men sleeping in sleeping lofts. And this has just been the most fun adventure. But there is an option for the person not comfortable with that, which would be those second stories. Do you want me to walk you through our one and only hallway in the entire house? This is our main bathroom. In fact, it's the only bathroom that's finished. Well, the studio's finished now too. This is a room that we're all sharing and using every single day. I'm entering it through this one custom door that we had to create, not because we are bougie, but because we originally planned that door to be a pocket door to later realize that it would not work that way. And the opening was already so large that it was too big for a regular door. So we had to build a barn door, and it works really great. The way we made this bathroom work for a family of 6 in a shed house is we went big. We went normal size for everything. We were not trying to spend more on a mini tub. We didn't need a tall tub so that everybody could soak in it, but tiny, itty bitty. We just bought standard size tub. It saved us a lot of money. We bought a normal sink. It has 2 faucets on it because we felt like, well, maybe we can get a couple kids around it at bedtime to brush teeth and make our life a little easier. And those were the solutions that were not big rocket science ideas. They were just really no-brainers that makes a small space work for a lot of people. I want to show you the master bedroom because the master bedroom is completely customizable to whatever you need. If you love the idea of a Murphy bed, go for it. But I'll explain a couple of things that we did really strategically and then kind of built out the room from there. So let's start with the closet. When we very first moved here, we had an infant, basically, just almost a toddler. She was just a year old. And we needed a place that was separate for her but transitional. So we built this almost as like a little mini room for her. Her pack and play fit in it perfectly. And then knowing she would move out of there, we could transition this into a proper closet for us. It also houses a lot of the non-seasonal things that our kids aren't using every single day. But I highly recommend when you're building your tiny house, build in storage wherever you can. And if it can be temporary, you're going to use in different ways, then go for it. Make sure it transfers into storage, because it's the biggest hurdle you're going to feel when you live in a tiny house. Even if you've done all the work like we did to downsize, you're still going to run into like, crap, where are my pots going to go? Oh no, I have no place for this winter clothes. I'm really struggling with my homeschool materials. Storage will save your life. The next part of storage that we use in a major way is this bed frame doesn't have a box spring. In fact, it's just the mattress. It sits on a metal bed frame and it's 17 inches off the ground. So then we can have full-size boxes go directly under our bed, and that's like our linens for tablecloths or extra bed sheets. That all stores right under here, and it takes no space out of our working floor plan. But the king-size bed can absolutely fit. Our shed is 16 by 48. So this room, I think, is only around 12 feet, and we built it this way so that we could accommodate a king-size bed. Remember, when we moved here, our youngest was under 2. So we had no place to put her if she was going to transition from that crib into a big girl room. This was going to be it. And at that stage, all of our kids, one night a week, at least somebody was climbing into our bed. So that's a huge get for us to be able to fit a king-size bed in our room. The other thing we've absolutely done, as you can tell by, the amazing color on the door, absolutely done this step by step and slow as we go. So our second bathroom is absolutely a work in progress. You can kind of see how we can walk directly in and out of our shower. That's because when we went to go build in this shower, even just as recently as last month, these doors are like unavailable. So we're still looking for the doors for that. And the beginning of this was, I did not want a house with 6 people and 1 toilet. So the toilet has tucked under the stairs. This is also very temporary here. We are just in transition from different storage areas in the house. So the design of this was, how can we get two bathrooms in here? This doesn't make any sense. But once we could put a toilet under the stairs, it made this room really work.
Can you sit on a toilet under here?
There will be a vanity right here. Probably another IKEA, because I feel like IKEA should be sponsoring our house at this point. If you need some encouragement, or like the real life behind people's vlogs and like images they can put up on Instagram to make things great, is I would say we're really good at not letting perfect be the enemy of good enough. So like right here in this bathroom, I just prioritized what we wanted most in our life and in our lifestyle, because that could feel like a lot of pressure. Get this bathroom done so the house is complete. Maybe one day it'll matter to me. But at the time, for like 2 years, Bo has been asking me, do you want the shower doors? Do we want to get the vanity? Do we want to finish the master bath? I just wanted a studio. I wanted outdoor shower to be completed. I wanted our life that we live as a whole to feel enhanced versus sucked down by one project after one project after one. I like to enjoy the progress that we make. Now we're gonna be at the point where we're ready to enjoy the bathroom. We're just not there yet. And I had to prioritize some things. So I put up this blue color on the wall. I thought, oh, this will be our bathroom color. It'll be great. I don't love it. So then I tried this wallpaper, which was just like a cheap vinyl, like stick it up, make it easy. And I don't know if I love this either. So I'm probably really glad that I didn't just try in one foul swoop finish out the bathroom, because I don't always know what I like, and I like to take the time throughout a project to figure it out and not feel pressured. So don't let this perfect Pinterest idea keep you from vlogging and showing people your half-finished bathroom. Don't let it be the thing that keeps you from trying new stuff, like this wallpaper is wild. Don't let what's perfect to someone else and someone else's totally different lifestyle than yours keep you from doing the next step in your project or the next step in your tiny house build.
Okay, so here's the husband view of form versus function that I do want to add. Moisture is one of the enemies in tiny house, shed to house. It is a wooden subfloor here. The subfloor is waterproof. It's a really well-built subfloor, but it's still not concrete. And so the way that I thought of how to make this tiny house living work is I did not want to have tile for a shower floor. It makes me feel so much better to have one of these bases that I know that the grout isn't going to crack where there's water constantly. So I highly recommend. They're not the prettiest things, but just go ahead and get one of these bases. I think it's going to save you a lot of headache someday in the future. Okay, I have lots of videos up about the mini splits. That's how you can live in one of these small spaces, is using mini splits. We use Mr. Cool. We love them. The second thing is we also have a 10 by 48 foot back porch that we have our outdoor laundry room out there, and that has saved us so much space. So I know that lumber prices are really high right now, and who knows if they're ever going to go back down, but you can come up with creative ideas on a laundry room. I just don't know if you need a laundry room inside of your tiny house, shed to house. You can come up with creative ways to be able to have an outdoor laundry room in an external shed or shop that has power and water there, so that you're not sacrificing that square footage space in your small house. Okay, so on the same line of not sacrificing indoor space, this was an extra $250 cost to have our plumber, when he was doing all the rough-in plumbing, to go ahead and put in an outdoor shower with hot water. Y'all, this has saved so much, even in the cold weather and the hot weather. Being able to send kids outside to just rinse off, our kids just get muddy and messy all the time. So we say, hey, go take an outdoor shower so we don't have to clean it up inside. For me, if I'm working with the pigs or outside getting sweaty, it is just the coolest thing to shower outside in the forest. It's awesome. I highly recommend, especially if you have privacy on your property, go ahead, before you do all the spray foam, go ahead and plumb an outdoor shower. You will absolutely never regret it.
If you've made it this far, I hope we've done our jobs and shown you how you can live in a shed to house conversion. However, you might still have the question of why. For us, and everybody's reasons will be different, but for us, we were looking to shed the stress of hurry and busy that we found in the suburbs and move to a space mentally and physically where we could embrace the freedom of the homestead. We've showed you a lot of things, and some you might be like, gosh, what else about that? So tell us what other questions you have about living maybe as a large family in a small house or building your own small house yourself. We're here for that. We want to help. Something we haven't covered is the cost, not because we don't love you and don't want to share it with you. In fact, we've created a link down below for our income expense report. There you can click and see a lot of the details on what we needed to spend to convert our raw land into a livable homestead. And I think you're gonna link this. We've got a homestead video time lapse that you might really be into, just to see what it looks like for us to go from the suburbs to the homestead and start creating a life that we'd never known before.